Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. We are seeing some massive market moves happening right now if you're not aware of it. So as most of us are aware, the whole Sword and Shield, alt art, trainer gallery play is sort of coming to an end, right? There's still some moves out there. There's still some plays happening. But for the most part, we're starting to see some stagnation. A lot of the massive growth and the massive sales volume is starting to come to an end. And we're just getting to that more of that normalizing market, normalized period. Now, we are seeing some decreases in some of the top movers that we saw, but no real crashes or anything like that going on. And there was some speculation being made by me and others, and I made videos about it, on where the money would move next. Because as you know, we very rarely see money leave the hobby. It normally just goes somewhere else, right? And so I speculated that it'd probably be money moving to Scarlet and Violet. We'll probably see some plays being made on the XY Megas, Mega Evolutions, and then even maybe some money go back to the Sun and Moon alt arts waifus that got really beat up in the last few months. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what we've seen. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. I'm not going to touch too much on Scarlet and Violet in this video because I've done that in other recent videos. But yeah, Scarlet Violet's seeing a ton of money move to it. All the boxes are now at like $100 or more than $100, with Paldea Evolve leading the way at about $130. Tons of the SIRs and the IRs are seeing massive moves up, and we're not really seeing any of them fall anymore at this point. So really strong market in Scarlet and Violet. We're really going to touch on what we're seeing right now with the Mega Evolutions and XY, the movements we're seeing, and also the alt arts and the waifus from Sun and Moon, especially the later sets, the ones I'm going to cover. They are absolutely exploding. I mean, they are not only making the money they lost back, they're actually setting all-time new highs in the Raw singles. And so, yeah, we are seeing that money being taken profits from the alt arts and trainer galleries, and it's moving everywhere, any which way, but it is staying in the hobby. The hobby is remaining strong. So let's go ahead and look at what we got going on. First, I got to shout out Arizona TCG, guys. They are today's video sponsor. They run a consignment service for your PSA, BGS, and CGC slabs. If you do have some slabs you're looking to move, take some profits on, change your collection, whatever it may be, they'll do all the work for you. Really cool too, if you want to like get an idea of what you'll actually make, having them do it for you. They have this little tracker tool where you can actually like move and, kind of guesstimate what your card's going to go for. Say you think your card's going to sell for about $200. Well, look, it lets you know, hey, you're going to take home about $167.50 doing it yourself on eBay. But if you let them do it for you, you're actually going to take home more because they're only going to charge you 13.5% and cover the shipping. They sell it all through their 100% positive feedback, 11K items sold, 2,000 follower eBay store. So they're going to get the most eyes on it, and they are going to go for top dollar. So make sure to check out Arizona TCG, guys. The links will be in the description and the comment section below. All right, so one Scarlet Violet card I do want to mention before we jump into the Sun and Moon and XY is this Ghastly. This Ghastly is on the run again. It had that major pop, which people, as always, called a buyout. It's getting bought out. It's getting manipulated. So it had a run up, right? It fell off, right? It crashed, right? So buyout, crash, the two buzzwords everyone likes to use, crashed down into the teens. And now it is seeing a resurgence. It's seeing a gradual climb this time. So it's not a buyout again, right, guys? It's a gradual climb. And it's starting to be sold for up near $30 again. If we go look at what the near mint copies are going for on the market. So lowest listing is from a 0% feedback seller, very, in the high 20s. If we go look at like any established sellers, all the established sellers are all in the mid 30s now. Only the 0% low sales sellers are under 30s. So yeah, this is like a mid $30 card at this point. And so Ghastly is one of the big movers on the market right now. As well as others in Scarlet and Violet, but I talked a lot about those in other videos, so I wanted to just keep it to mostly XY, Sun and Moon, but Ghastly I wanted to mention because that's seeing a huge move. It's just a great card, guys. I mean, great cards with great art with popular species. It's kind of a cheat code if you're looking to, buy cards when they're low. That's all I got to say about that. All right, first up, Gengar Mimikyu alt art from Team Up. Ready for this one, guys? So recently it's seen a run up. This chart only shows it at 292. We're seeing sales at 350. We're seeing sales at 350. That is an all-time high. We are looking at all-time highs. This chart is way up here now. All-time high sale, 350. We can look at other sales near mint. That's a 600. That's absolutely ridiculous. But 289.99. We have near mint 288.88. If we look at what's available, lowest list is 350, and then it goes to 400. So becoming very scarce again, seeing crazy sales again, a light placeholder 350, it's craziness. And so, yeah, Gengar Mimikyu on the move. Magikarp, Wailord GX, another alt art tag team. We're seeing, it still shows it down here on the chart, right? It shows that. But if we look at what they're selling for, near mint 313, right? Near mint 269.99, near mint 240. So it's on the move. Lowest list is in the high 300s. So even if we take the latest sale, near mint 313, way up here, guys. All year high, all-time highs. I think all-time highs. I think this is still the all-time. I could be wrong on that, but it is 1 year high now on the Magikarp Wailord. The Misty, even the waifus are seeing some action. So the Misty's favor, right? Had a huge fall off. Right? Had a huge fall off from the 180s all the way down to the 160s. Now it's back to all-time highs. We're seeing near mint copies listed low as 180s. We are seeing sales in the 200s, right? 200s, 180s. The 180s are going to be lower volume sellers. The high volume sellers all have them up at 200. So Misty recovered from all of its crash that it had after profit takers took last year. All right, now we got the Raichu, Alolan Raichu. It is seeing a run up lately, right? We're seeing it sell in the 130s. It's nowhere near its highs it saw in the 180s, but it is seeing it's definitely seeing a resurgence, right? It fell all the way down in the 110s, and now it's back in the 130s. So a good 20% increase. We've got the Sableye Tyranitar card. It's seeing a massive increase, right? It was in the teens as well. Now it's seeing sales all the way up in the 160s, guys. We have sales in the 160s and 180 there, 120s. Lowest one on the market, looks like in the 140s now. And so if you look at what it was like a year ago, it was in the 170s. So not quite back up there, but, mid-range, right? 140s, mid-range. So it is getting a lot of its value back. We got the Slowbro Psyduck seeing a massive resurgence. 1 year ago, it was a $111 card. And if we look at it now, well, $100, 140, 105, 105. It's basically back to its 1 year high. It's 140 in the market if you want to buy one right now on TCG Player. So basically, it's recovered all of its losses from the 111s all the way down to the 80s, right back into the 111s or 105, 110 range. So pretty crazy to see the growth of all of these tag teams. We got the Gardevoir Sylveon. We actually pulled this in one of the breaks on Thursdays from Unbroken Bonds. Massive run up lately. 170s. Look at this. We have a sale for $325, which is absolutely crazy. Lowest list is $320. And then we have other sales, $250s, $275. So it has absolutely recovered all of its gains and actually set new all-time highs for the year. Could be new all-time highs ever if I'm not mistaken, for the Gardevoir Sylveon. We got the Greninja Zoroark. It's flying up as well. We're seeing sales over $100. If you look back a year, $99 for the year high. So we're seeing sales at or above its 1 year high. We've got the Machamp Marshadow, same type of thing. 1 year ago was selling in the 90s. Now if I didn't have it sorted. It got sorted by the old near mint. Let's see, $75, $80 range. We're seeing sales in the 75 range. So not quite its all-time high, but definitely off its lows. Even the rainbows, right? The Charizard Reshiram rainbow card, even those are seeing resurgences. Not a lot in the last few months, right now, a ton of sales. But for the past year, this was a $140 card. And then in the past, look, a few days, past month or so, we're starting to see 120s, 130s, 140 sales again. Lowest listed is 135, 138. And so, yeah, they're getting bought up. The money's moving back. The money's moving right back from these as people are taking profits from the alt art and trainer gallery moves. Blastoise Piplup GX. Love this card. Just picked it up at the card show recently. If we look at what this guy's going for, there's one right here for 110, extremely low, 0% feedback seller, new seller. All the other ones are in the 180s and 190s, and that's where the sales are being had, 189. And if we look back, look, guys, this was a $100 card. This was selling for $100. The old high was in the 130s, 140s, and now it's selling for far above that. So, guys, the resurgence we're seeing on these is massive right now. The Reshiram Zekrom with the N in the picture, awesome, awesome artwork. Not recovering as crazily, but it did see lows down in the 90s. It did see highs up in the 120s. We do actually have a sale now at $119.95. And if we look at what the lowest is listed at, it is listed in the 80s. So I don't know what that sale's about. Maybe it was bought up and there wasn't, now that we're starting to see more hit the market. Either way, it does seem to be selling, 120. We have sales here near mint, 109, sales 90. So it does seem to be selling in the 80s, 90s, 100s. It's definitely off. I think it's at least bouncing off its lows. So that's all the tag teams. All right. So that's tons of the tag teams. Even we got the waifu with the Misty moving, all this good stuff is all seeing huge rebounds off its lows. Yeah, money's moving back to the tag team alt arts and to the waifus. All right. Now let's move on to the XY, guys. Ancient Origins. Ancient Origins is absolutely on fire. So yeah, I made a video on the channel. I would think about a month ago now. Maybe it's been a couple months. But yeah, I mean, ever since I made that video, look exactly what's happening. We're seeing money move back to the XY megas. This card was going in the 140s literally back in April. And now if we look at some of the near mint sales, 179, 169.99, 199.99 on the market right now, very few. 10 available on TCG Player in the 170s, 176, then it jumps up to $200. So massive moves on the Rayquaza. Primal Groudon, same exact thing. Chart goes straight up right now. If we look at the year chart, I mean, look at that. Look at that year chart. It's absolutely crazy. Last sale was 117. We can look at the Primal Kyogre, same exact thing. Chart straight up. Look at the 1 year chart. Absolutely, huge highs. Look at the last sales data. We have near mint copies selling for 78, 74.99. And so everything's moving exactly kind of what I pictured when a lot of people pictured happening when Sword and Shield started to, kind of cool off. Is it's going to move to the new stuff and it's going to move back to the older stuff that people have kind of been neglecting because they were so worried about getting their alt arts and their trainer galleries while they were still low. And now that they're higher, people are saying, well, what else can I afford for that price? Well, you can afford cards like this Mega Tyranitar from Ancient Origins. I mean, very cheap card, right? It was going for under $30. Now it's had a run up. We're seeing it sell for like, the high 30s, high to mid 30s now. Lowest one on the market right now is $44.99. So pretty big run up for under $30, about a 50% run up on market price. Rayquaza EX. This is Rayquaza, right? Back here, this is from Ancient Origins. This is going to be the Rayquaza from Roaring Skies. So this Rayquaza, not as valuable, but huge run up. This was a $76 card. We're seeing sales for $199, $130, $140. We look at what's going on like what's available on the market. If you wanted to pick one up for yourself, there's only 5 listed. So they are down to 120s from the zero feedback sellers, but any of like the bigger sellers, I mean, 150, 250, they're very scarce, very hard to find. But yeah, I mean, double market price on the Rayquaza. We've got the Mega Latios, which not as popular of a card or anything, but I mean, going from $16 all the way up in the 20s, if we look at near mint sales, $24.99 is a pretty significant move. I mean, we're talking about 40, 50% moves on these cards, guys. Even more than that. Mega Gallade EX, again, not a hugely popular card, but went from $13. We're seeing sales, 16s, stuff like that. Let me see what's available on the market. The biggest thing is they're getting more scarce on the market, which is going to see major price moves. So we got a $16, $18, and then jumps up in the 20s. So still seeing moves. Obviously the Mewtwo's from Breakthrough to the cards I like a lot. Not as crazy of moves, from the 20s to the mid 30s, but for the year, they're starting to get back to their 1 year highs. Same thing with the red Mewtwo. It's seen kind of a mid 20s up to about 30. It's the same thing. It's added to your high. Mewtwo's aren't seeing as crazy of moves, but they are up. The Mega Gyarados from Breakpoint, it was in the 20s. Now it's up in the mid 30s. We got the Mega Alakazam. It was down in the mid to low teens. Now it looks like it is selling in the 20s now. $21 latest sale. Then Evolutions. Even Evolutions is getting a bulk of this move. So Evolutions, Charizard, it's been in the 40s, but it's starting to see sales now up in the mid 40s, some in the 50s, depending on who sells it. If we look at the market right now, the biggest thing with these guys is the market's getting more scarce, more and more disappearing, and they're not getting replenished. So it is still have listings in the lower and mid 40s. But for the year, it's still higher up for the year. Same thing with the Blastoise, starting to see some moves. Venusaur starting to see some moves. And the Mega Pidgeot from Evolution starting to see a move up as well. And so, guys, I mean, this kind of just gives us the data that we need to kind of prove that at least my hypothesis, I think a lot of people's hypothesis was correct, is that the money isn't going to just like sell out of, their alt-art positions or their trainer gallery positions and just leave and go spend it on vacations or, whatever else out there. It just moves, right? usually collectors keep their money in the hobby. They get to build their collections more with the profits and the gains they make. And that's exactly what we're seeing, guys. So XY megas are most likely going to continue to see rises. The alt arts and the waifus from Sun and Moon are most likely going to continue to see rises. And then Scarlet and Violet era is most likely going to continue to see money pour into it as more people begin to appreciate the artwork. More people begin to realize the cards are actually pretty rare. They're getting to be very rare to hit. And also, people are understanding that, hey, these Scarlet Violet cards, they're actually printed pretty poorly. And so the PSA 10 chase in Scarlet and Violet is much harder than the PSA 10 chase in Sword and Shield. And so those slabs are starting to get valued properly as they should have been. They should have never been $30, $40, $50 slabs in SIRs and IRs. And so now they're starting to get properly valued, close to 100, over 100, over 200, 300. Which is very nice to see as well. Now, as always, guys, reprints could change things with Scarlet and Violet. But as far as the Sun and Moon's XY plays, those reprints, those are long gone. The supply continues to dwindle from the market. And those plays are most likely going to continue to move in the direction they are. Just because people are realizing how hard to find near mint copies those are, how scarce they are, and just how great cards they actually are. Now that some of the euphoria is wearing off from the alt art, trainer gallery times, and people are starting to appreciate what else is out there. So that's what's going on in the market. No real investing talk today. I just wanted to let everyone know kind of what's going on, so you can kind of maybe broaden your vision if you've kind of been honed in just on Sword and Shield, and make your plays based on what you see going on. So that's all I got today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back here in a new one soon. Guys, make sure, I don't say this a lot, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you watch these videos and you're not yet. And yeah, be back here in a new one soon. I'm out.